Good morning, afternoon, or evening, dear yogis. Welcome to our Echo Yoga. Thank you for showing up today. So today's practice is inspired by what's feeling alive for me is we're changing in the seasons here in London. So it has been incredibly hot and now we're moving into autumn. So there's a bit of coolness in the air, which is beautiful, but also just the changing in the times of day and the seasons and the body can take a little bit of time to kind of open and to feel, supported in the transition. So we'll be working on full body opening. So working with all planes of the physiological body, and then also just taking space to tune into anything that's shifting in the mind and in the breath as well. So that being said, I encourage you to take a seat first, sit up nice and tall along through the spine, and just begin to arrive in the breath. So before we begin the practice, whatever you were doing before, whatever you might be doing after, just arrive here, nice long spine, shut the eyes down. And relax the muscles in the forehead. Relax the muscles around the jaw, begin to soften, even parting the lips slightly, bringing softness into the body, relaxing the shoulders. Allow the belly to release if you're holding in. And desire to flatten, let that Buddha belly come forward. The breath moving from the belly up through the diaphragm across the chest in each cycle of breath through the nostrils. And we begin our practice with that nourishing prana moving through the body. So take a few rounds here, really allowing the breath to stem from that bulbish aspect of the belly up through the diaphragm across the chest, in and out of the nostrils, especially with the anxious mind, when it's hard to focus and be present with what is. I invite the mantra in of breathing in. I am aware that I am breathing in. Breathing out, I am aware that I am breathing out. And let's take 5 rounds of breath here. So do your best to be fully present with what is. No fidgeting in the seats. You might hear sounds near and far. But again, coming into that mantra, breathing in, I am aware that I am breathing in. Breathing out, I am aware that I am breathing out. We look for that hypnagogic state, really allowing ourselves to drop deep into the blood and bones of the physical form. So a big part of our yoga practice is simply arriving. Sometimes we can do the entire practice and never have fully arrived. So for the anxious mind, the hypervigilant mind, or even the dissociated or numbed out body, this can be the entire practice, just waiting for that moment of arrival. And slowly let the right ear fall to the right shoulder. Find some length through the left side of the neck. And no goal to get any deeper than you need to. Find your edge and just stay there. Bathe in the breath, equal inhalations and exhalations through the nostrils. And bring chin to chest, let the back of the neck grow long. Make sure that the spine is erect and we're not hunched over. Feel some length through the spaciousness between the shoulder blades. Left ear to left shoulder, hang out here. And again, not pushing past our edge. Hanging out in the exhalation, dropping deeper into presence. And just begin to find some circles. So just moving naturally and intuitively in your own body. There might be some spaces that feel a bit more crunchy. You can hang out and pause in those spaces. And maybe the chest gets a bit more involved. Maybe you sigh out of the mouth if it feels relieving for any tension that's in the body. And maybe there's humming in the back of the throat. Move in the opposite direction when it feels intuitively right. And we're just working to create some spaciousness in the cervical spine, that space between the shoulder blades connected to the kidney meridian where our fear lies, a space that energetically makes it difficult to sit upright, to find length through the back line. So maybe intuitively releasing as much as you can, anything that you don't need to hold on to here. And sit up tall. Take an inhale, lengthen the arms up overhead. And exhale, hands to heart center. Slowly inhale, lengthen the arms up overhead. And slowly exhale, hands to heart center. Take the entire exhale to wash down. Entire inhale to rise up. Pause. Entire exhalation to come down. Pause in the bottom of the exhale. Hold the breath for a moment. That kumbhaka, breath retention. Back to your normal breathing. Find an intention as the hands are at the heart center for your practice. Even in these small practices, can simply be presence, curiosity, openness into certain aspects of the physiological or energetic body. We can blink the eyes open and begin. So let's take an inhale, reach the arms up. And exhale, twist to the right, right hand down behind you, left hand on the right knee. Let the twist really come from the belly, lengthen through the spine, sit up nice and tall. So we're working with the kidney meridian quite a bit today, lengthening through the back line, again connected to the energy of fear. So just notice if sitting upright in the spine is challenging, if there's issues in the neck. Energetically, we want to create spaciousness for any fears, any resistances that we might have in the mental, energetic, and physical body. Take an inhale, reach the right arm up. Exhale, lean towards the left and pull with the right arm over towards the left side. Looking up towards the right. Let's come back up to center. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, twist to the left. Long through the spine and not cricking the neck back too deeply. Finding your edge, staying there. This isn't a cervical spine stretch, it's more for the belly. Continue to breathe in and out of the nostrils. Inhale, lengthen the left arm up. And exhale, lean lightly to the right. That left arm moving over towards the right, nice and long through the left side of the body. So getting into the gallbladder meridian, the energy within traditional Chinese medicine of our decision makings and the side bodies. So just notice where your tensions are, where your contractions, where there's shortening, where there's spaciousness. Inhale, reach up with both arms. And exhale, hands down. So bring the hands to the front of the knees and we're going to pull on the inhale, forward, chest opens, look up. Exhale, round the spine, chin to chest. Take the entire exhale to arrive. Entire inhale to move the chest forward, back bending, look up. And exhale, round in. So we're learning to slow everything down so we can feel the subtleties of the chains in the body. Inhale, forward, open. And exhale, how slow can you go round in? Pause. Inhale, lengthen forward, pause at the top of the inhale. And exhale, round and pause at the bottom of the exhale, retention. Last one, inhale, open, pause. And exhale, close, pause. Beautiful, come back up to center. And let's come forward onto the hands and the knees, so tabletop position. Take an inhale, let the belly drop, look forward, open. And again, the entire exhale to round the spine in, chin to chest last. Inhale the entire inhalation to let the belly drop, unwinding the spine, looking forward and up. Exhale the entire exhalation, rounding in, chin to chest. So slowing it down. Inhale, open. And exhale, round in like a wave. Again, inhale. And exhale. Let's do 2 more at your own pace. Last one. And let's come back to center. So bring the knees a little bit closer. Bring the hands a little bit more forward, fingers tracking to the outside of the mat. And we're going to lean the hips over towards the right elbow, open the chest. And then sweep the hips all the way back to the left elbow, forward, open the chest. And let the belly drop through center, so like we're a seal. And then begin to draw circles to the right and back, to the left and forward. You can let the head get involved and just begin to move in your circles. So we're getting into all planes of the body. Your movements do not have to be as large and dynamic as mine. If you're feeling really tight in the front, the back, or the sidelines, you might want to do smaller circles, and you can always return to that cat and cow. When it feels good, you move in the opposite direction. So move at your own pace. And when there are areas that feel a bit more crunchy, maybe you pause there a little bit longer. So this is a time of exploration in the planes of the body. Let's take 2 more rounds. And sound is always encouraged in the practice. If you need to sigh or hum, let's come back to neutral, tabletop. Tuck the toes and sit back onto the heels. So even the big toes are tucked under, little toes. We want to come into the toe squat. So favorite posture, if you've been practicing with me for a while, you either love me for this or dislike me immensely when we come into this practice. So my encouragement is, if it's uncomfortable, still stick with it. If it's painful, then lean the weight forward. So if you can stay upright, lengthen the spine, relax the shoulders, do your best to not create create the freeze contraction in the body. Open the chest, open the shoulders, hands resting lightly on the thighs, and relax the muscles in the face. Find your breath. So your focus here, that mantra, breathing in, I am aware that I am breathing in. Breathing out, I am aware that I am breathing out. Stay with the heat rising up through the ankles, across the shins. We're moving any stagnant energy in the meridians, myofascial lines that begin and end in the feet. Give me 3 more rounds of breath here, in and out of the nostrils. And let's come forward onto the hands, pat the feet out. And we're going to slowly begin to sit back onto the heels. Bring the fingers back behind you and lift the knees. So give a little massage to the fascia on the top of the feet. Again, keep the chest open. So a big line with the back line is to let the shoulders come down the back, open the heart space, create space across the chest. Let's come forward onto the hands and turn your fingers back towards the knees. You'll decide for yourself how much back you need to go with the hands or forward. And we want to get into the forearms. So begin to create some circles here. And if you want a bit of an extra stretch, sometimes bringing the hands more forward is going to get into the forearms a little bit deeper. And wrist longevity is a huge issue, an epidemic in a society on their phones constantly, on computers. Even the way that we work out our bodies, there's not a lot of attention here. It's a very sensitive part of the body. So I really suggest putting this into your practice each day, move in the opposite direction. I'm going to do a couple of exercises here to also create some strength and longevity for the wrists. And also just giving some love and attention to the forearms. So let's come back to neutral. Turn the fingers back forward. And you're going to make fists. So put the thumb into the inside of the palm. Make a little fist with the hands. And you're going to bring the fist together, right below the chest. Make sure that you're sinking down onto the wrist. Take an inhale. And exhale, lower the chest down. So we're doing push-ups. Inhale, press up. And exhale down. Inhale up. And exhale down. Make sure that the wrists are directly under the chest. Inhale up. And exhale down. Twice more. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Beautiful. Let's come back to sitting onto the heels. Stretch the arms up overhead. Inhale. And begin to flick the fingers up. So a practice that comes from the Kundalini tradition. Nice and slow at first. Relax the shoulders. Relax the muscles in the face. Get a little bit faster. Bring the hands out in front of you like you're flicking rainwater off the fingers, and a little bit faster. So we're creating some strength in the fingers, in the carpal tunnel, so in the wrist, in the forearms. And strengthening ourselves for our very digital world that we participate in. And try to keep some strength and longevity in these sensitive but strong bodies that we have. Flick the hands. You can sigh out. You can also flutter the lips here, releasing any tension. Shake the head. Lift the hands and flick. And come into some stillness. So again, just releasing any excess energy in the arms, in the face. We can have a lot of tension in the jaws, the shoulders, the neck. So these kind of exercises help the whole system. Bring the hands forward, tuck the toes under, lift the hips. So first downward facing dog. Press the palms in, press the heels down. And maybe for some of us that have really tight back lines, you can't straighten the legs fully. That's fine. Micro bend the knees if you need to, and pedal out the feet if you like. But make sure that the head is relaxed and that you're really supporting the upper body weight by pressing strongly into the entire palm. So not just the fingers or wrists, but the hand is completely flat. Let's take an inhale. And exhale, slowly walk the feet forward. Take your time. So meeting the hands, come forward. And let's just hang out here for a moment. Feet are hip width distance apart. I know that we love to hold opposite elbows. That's available if you'd like it. But you can also just let the arms hang. And in every exhalation, notice if you can lengthen the legs more and more. So forward fold takes time to get into. It's not a 2-breath posture for those of us with tight back lines. We're going to stay here for some time. If it feels good now, you might want to grab opposite elbows, create some spaciousness. Any sighs, any hums to support the parasympathetic release, feel free to take. Let's take 3 more rounds of breath here, really allowing the back line to create some spaciousness. If you imagine the body as a home, when we are doing these practices, it's like feng shuiing in the living room, moving space, moving the furniture around a bit so we have more room for activities. So actually, the slower we go, the more time that we spend in these postures, we create so much spaciousness for life to happen in the body. We begin to decalcify the fascia to move that stagnant energy and create more space for liveliness. Hands to the earth. Take an inhale, press into the feet. Very slowly begin to round all the way up. Let the arms hang. And as you're rounding to standing, begin to just kind of find a bounce in the knees, just bounce in the shoulders, and let it be light at first. We're not going into a full shake, but begin to let even the heels hit the ground. So we're releasing any stagnant energy, moving up through the roots into Muladhara chakra, to that root chakra of safety, supports. And just visualize and even tune in to the energy moving up into the root. Can flick the hands and really let the shoulders be free here as well. And again, the flutter of the lips, humming, sighing, anything that needs to come out through the mouth. And let's come to standing, nice and tall, grounding through the feet, close the eyes down, take a moment to connect with the solid force of the ground beneath you. And take an inhale, lengthen the arms up. And exhale, slowly fold down. Inhale, bend the knees, sink into a seat. Hands just kind of hang out at the side. Exhale, press up to standing. So a Qigong movement. Inhale, lengthen the arms up. Take the entire inhale. Exhale, fold down. So we're finding a focal point forward. We move nice and slow. Inhale, sink into that seat, that throne. And exhale, press up to standing. So really tuning into each part of the movement. Inhale up. And exhale down. Inhale, sink into the seat. And exhale, press to standing nice and strong in the lower body. Inhale up. And exhale down. Inhale, sink into the seat. And exhale, press to standing. Very good. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, bow down. This time we're moving somewhere different. Inhale, come up halfway, hands to shins, flat back. Exhale, plant the hands, step the right foot back, right knee to the earth. And sink into the left knee, hands onto the left knee. Open the chest. Let's take an inhale, reach up. And exhale, twist to the left. Hands together, right elbow outside the left knee. Really twist from the belly. So we're not leaning the chest on the left thigh. Look back over the left shoulder. My balance is interesting today. If you fall out of the poses, you just come back in. Let's take an inhale, reach up. Exhale, sink the hips back towards the right heel, straighten the left leg, left toes towards the ceiling, fold into the left shin, forehead down. So if you want to stretch that left foot a little bit more forward, toes point up, we come into the half splits, half Hanuman. And again, we're lengthening into the back line of the left leg. If you notice that you tend to hunch and round the upper back, lengthen the spine, and fold less deep. So the goal here isn't to get to the toes, but it's to lengthen through the back leg, so the left leg. So just notice how you approach these postures. The integrity of the spine and the breath is important. If you shorten your breath, come out of the posture a bit, find more pranic energy moving through. Let's take an inhale, bend the left knee, come forward. Exhale, forward fold. Take an inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, plant the hands, send the left foot to the back of the mat, left knee down. Hands to the right knee, open the chest, lengthen. Inhale, reach the arms up. And exhale, hands to heart, twist to the right. Left elbow outside the right knee, twist from the belly, and look lightly back towards the right. Again, not straining the neck. The neck and the wrist are some of the most, hyperextended in our yoga practice. So we tend to crank the necks back or really bend into the wrists. So it's important that we really take care of the longevity of both of these spaces in the body. Let's take an inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, sink back towards the left heel, right toes point up, and maybe bring the right foot forward to sink a bit deeper. Fold over the right shin, and again, notice if you're rounding, lengthen the spine, come out of the posture a bit, and then fold. Breath should be nice and smooth, and you should be feeling this more deeply in the back side of the right leg than the spine. Let's take an inhale, bend into the right knee, and step forward, fold. Come up onto the tiptoes, sink the hips down, and come into a seat. Now sit up nice and tall. So these short practices, beginning and ending in the same place. Sitting up nice and tall, and again, noticing if there is that connection with the breath, equal inhalations and exhalations through the nostrils. Eyes closed, forehead soft, muscles around the jaw soft, shoulders relaxed, belly open and wide. Breathing in, I am aware that I am breathing in. Breathing out, I am aware that I am breathing out. And so I leave silence here for these next 3 rounds of breath for you to tune in. Where does your mind go? Where does your attention go? Can you stay in the present moment with that mantra for 3 full rounds of breath in and out of the nostrils? We bring hands to heart center, bowing head to heart. Just offering you deep bows of gratitude for showing up for yourself today. May you find ways to slow down and tune in to your natural rhythm, to your breath, creating a longer and longer attention span and more spaciousness in the body. So it takes time. So giving gratitude to yourself for showing up today, however you show up, however the mind shows up, the body. And we begin again each day. Namaste.